Rocket the Stretchy Raccoon, the superhero of the forest. Once upon a time, in a cozy little forest on the edge of a bustling city, there lived a raccoon named Rocket. But Rocket wasn't just any raccoon, he had a secret superpower. And not just any superpower, either. Rocket could stretch his body like a giant rubber band. He could stretch his paws up to reach high places, his tail could twist and turn like a slinky, and he could even stretch his belly to hide tons of snacks. But sure, it was all a secret to the other animals. One day, Rocket was out in the forest practicing his super stretch moves. He was trying to reach the very top of a tree to snatch a particularly tasty-looking apple when he heard a tiny voice crying out, "Help! Help!" Rocket quickly let go of the tree and whipped around to find a tiny chipmunk named Charlie dangling off a branch, his tiny paws slipping. Without hesitating, Rocket stretched his arm all the way up to the branch, like a huge furry bungee cord, and scooped Charlie up just as he was about to fall. Charlie blinked in surprise as Rocket reeled his arm back like a fishing line. "Whoa!" Charlie gasped. "How did you do that?" Just years of yoga," Rocket mumbled, scratching his head. But he knew it was only a matter of time before the animals figured out his secret. Now, Rocket's days as a secret superhero in the forest were about to get a lot more adventurous. Rumors about his powers spread quickly, and soon animals from every corner of the forest were coming to Rocket for help. One day, he got a request from Sally Squirrel, who had an enormous stash of nuts buried under a bush. "Rocket, please," she begged. "I hid my acorns so well that even I can't reach them anymore." With a sigh, Rocket stretched his arm deep into the bush and pulled out the biggest pile of acorns Sally had ever seen. She was so excited she threw a party, and Rocket became the official nut finder of the forest. Then there was the time Mr. Beaver asked Rocket to help with his dam building. Rocket stretched his arms to place logs in hard-to-reach places, becoming a bridge for the little animals to cross the river. The animals were starting to think Rocket could do just about anything. Rocket, who was used to a quiet life of snacking and napping, started to realize that being a superhero wasn't all fame and glamour. Sometimes it meant missing naps to help animals find things they'd lost or stretching across the pond to save someone's hat. Rocket's most famous adventure, however, was about to unfold. One chilly autumn day, Rocket noticed something unusual. A giant, mysterious boulder had appeared at the entrance to the forest. The animals huddled around, poking at it with twigs and sniffing it curiously. No one knew where it had come from, but it was blocking the main trail to the pond, where everyone got their water. Rocket squeezed through the crowd to get a closer look and scratched his chin. This boulder is too heavy to push, even for me. But maybe." Before he could say more, Rocket's best friend and superfan, Benny the Bunny, whispered, "I bet Rocket could do it. He's got super stretching powers, after all." Rocket smiled, and with a dramatic flourish, he rolled up his non-existent sleeves. He braced his feet against a tree, took a deep breath, and stretched his arms out, wrapping them around the boulder. He stretched and stretched, pulling with all his might. His arms stretched until they looked like they'd reach the other side of the forest. Just as everyone thought he couldn't pull any more, Rocket shouted, "For the forest," and gave one final yank. The boulder rolled off the trail, bounced down the hill, and landed with a splash in the pond. All the animals cheered and clapped their paws. Rocket beamed, taking a big bow. His secret was finally out, and he couldn't be happier. From that day on, Rocket was known as the stretchy superhero of the forest. The animals looked up to him not just because he could stretch, but because he was always there to lend a paw. Rocket still took plenty of naps and kept his snack stash close by, but now he had something even better, friends who needed him and cheered him on. And every so often, as he was stretching to help a friend, Rocket would sneakily reach a little further for an extra snack, just to keep things balanced. And so, the legend of Rocket the Stretchy Raccoon continued, with every stretch, twist, and snack break.